The garden this year has been designed by students at Derby College, and it's for the Lilian Prime Trust. The trust has a new logo with three sort of sausage-shaped curved beds in it. So we've started to put together the different elements. Let's take a look at how we created the metal fencing and these unusually shaped beds in order to give us something that looks realistic for the duration of the show. So starting with the metalwork, you can see that we rolled it. You can see the roller on the left, and we're trying to create these curved shapes, and you can see the final product there. And this one you can see we used the roller again to create this metal arch for the top of the entrance.
What we're doing is we're creating these sausage-shaped beds, and the way we do that is we kind of make a sandwich. So literally we're cutting out a semicircle, and we use a trammel. So by using a screw, drill a little hole in a piece of wood, and you've got your trammel, and then we can step in a little bit to do, we're going to cut the middle out of this as well. So that's the putting together fabricating these little beds. So what we've done is cut ourselves a load of noggins, and we're just going to join the two halves together with the noggins, and we'll just pop that in, drop that in place, and that should hold that nicely in place. And we'll build the whole thing like this, and then wrap some hardboard around, because it's only for a show for 1 week. What we're doing here, once you've got your two plywood parts of your sandwich, if you like, and then you've got your noggins in between, what we do then is apply a blue grit on the hardboard. So around the edges of your noggins, we attach the hardboard, 1/4 inch hardboard, and then we're putting this blue grit. As you can see, it's quite a useful compound here. It's just a Feb Bond blue grit, and that gives a nice gritty sort of key in which we can render onto. You can see we put the blue grit on, and that has dried quite a lot. That's given us a good key, and now what we're going to do, we're going to render. And what we do is we put the hook, so we've got the hook and we got a steel float. What we do, we draw the fluid up onto the hook, or the render I should say. And what you want to do is you want to just get that a few times and just work it a little bit, and you tilt it back and work it so it's all together. Now when you're starting off, you can just cut it like that and just take a little piece off, start at the bottom at an angle like that, and just bring the angle up a little bit and just sort of let it come up like that, nice and smooth. Now if you want to get the bit at the bottom, what you can do is get a little bit on your trowel like that, or on your float I should say, and pull it up. So if you want to come from the bottom, you can do that. If you want to come down from the top, again you can get a little bit like that and come down from the top. If you want to come from the right to the left, so I needed a bit over here, use the right part of your trowel. And if I want to go from the left, use the left part of your trowel, and you can put it on. So what we're doing is kind of putting what we call a scratch coat on. This is a thin coat, which what we'll do is we'll add a final coat a little bit later and use a sponge effect on it, okay? So we're just putting that on, just smooth that up a little bit, just run it up. You want it fairly smooth because we want to try and stick to the shape, if you like. So we're not doing kind of stucco, as it were. We're going to try and create them fairly smooth. So that's the reason for getting it fairly flat. So again, just lift the front end of that trowel up and let that run up there like that. That's it. Aaron's just doing a little bit of sponging here, just sponging the surface lightly, just to give us an even finish on the monocouche. So what we're doing here is we've just put a hose pipe around the top just to fill out a little bit of a gap. And we're going to put, as you can see, some monocouche round it, and then to finish it, we've created like a running mould, which we're going to kind of take it over and drag it to take off the surplus and create like a curve on it. So that's kind of what we're doing there, to just create a little bit more of a rounded top. So what Jackie's doing is she's just filling up the little receptacle, if you like, the container, with the alginate to the mark that it was with the water when Sue put her hands in the water. So we're going to, it's going to take both bags of alginate. We're mixing the alginate with water, and it goes a lovely kind of purple colour. And we're going to mix that up with the water. So Sue put her hands in, and we measured how much water we needed. We then took the water out and put that into another container, and then we put the alginate to the same. We dried the container, then we put the alginate to the same level that the water was at. And then we're now mixing the water with the alginate. Now we're going to have to really give this a good mix, I think, because it wants to be kind of a nice consistency, doesn't it? Yeah. I'm just wondering, Aid, we got that little paddle? Sue's just getting it all mixed up, and we've got a little stirrer. We're going to really give that a really good firm mix. Now Sue's not allowed to blink or anything for the next 5 minutes. Yeah, so Sue's just pulled her hands out, and there you go. We've got a little bit, was a little slight crack there in the middle, but I think we'll cope with that. That's it. It's good. Gosh, it's just like you've, I don't know, delivered a calf or something. It's weird. And there is Sue with her hands. Absolutely fab.
I've always wanted 2 pairs of hands.